Good morning, my dear students. We have already discussed meaning and definitions of business economics. Nature and features of business economics, scope of business economics, fundamental concepts of business economics, and the role and responsibilities of a business economist. So, this completes the first unit of your syllabus. I already arranged the notes on this particular unit. We can go through with the notes that I have already given you. From today, let us start with our discussion over the second unit of the syllabus. It is on demand analysis. In this unit, broadly, we will discuss the meaning and definition of demand, determinants of demand, the law of demand, then changes in demand like extension and contraction in demand, increase and decrease in demand. Then we will also discuss the elasticity of demand and its various types. We'll also study demand forecasting and methods of demand forecasting. So these are the various topics to be discussed in this particular unit. Now let us begin with the meaning of demand. What do you mean by demand? In an ordinary sense, demand means human desires or wants. But all wants cannot become demand in economics. In economics, demand carries a wider meaning. Demand refers to human desires or wants backed by ability to pay and willingness to pay. Therefore, we can define demand in this way. Demand is equal to desires plus ability to pay plus willingness to pay. So only human wants or desires backed by ability to pay and willingness to pay can become demand in economics. Now let us study various determinants of demand. It means factors determining demand. There are several factors determining demand. One is price. Price is the most important factor determining demand. But there is an inverse relation between price and demand. It means the quantity demanded extends with a fall in price and it contracts with a rise in price. So there is a negative relation or an inverse relation between price and demand. As the price increases, demand will come down. Similarly, as the price decreases, the demand will go up. So this type of relation is known as the negative relation or an inverse relation. The second factor is income. Income means purchasing power, the capacity of a buyer to purchase goods and services. Income and demand are positively correlated, or that is a positive relation between income and demand. It means as the income increases, demand will also increase. Similarly, as the income decreases, demand will also come down. So there is a positive relation between income and demand because income decides the purchasing power of consumers. Then the third factor is prices of related goods. There are certain related goods. Broadly, we can classify two types of related goods. One is complementary. Another is substitutes. There are two types of related goods. One is complementary, another is substitutes. So what are complementary goods? In case of complementary goods, the demand for two or more goods arises at a time. It means two or more goods are needed at a time to satisfy a particular want. For example, car and petrol, pen, ink, and paper. Any change in the price of one related good can influence the demand for another commodity. For example, as the price of petrol increases, demand for car will come down. Another type of related good here is substitutes. So what are substitutes or alternative goods? These are the goods in the case of which we can satisfy a particular want by consuming any one of the alternative available because those goods are having almost equal amount of utility. Utility means the wants satisfying power. The example for substitute goods, say tea or coffee. You can either consume tea or coffee to satisfy your needs. Any change in the price of tea can affect the demand for coffee. So these are substitute goods. Therefore, any change in the price of related goods can affect the demand for another related commodity. Then the fourth factor determining demand is taste and preferences. If certain goods have become the matter of habits, usually consumers will purchase more of those commodities. For example, the consumption of tobacco, cigarette, alcohol. If these goods have become the matter of habits, consumers can purchase more of such things. They won't bother about the prices of those goods in this case. So taste and preferences can influence the level of demand to a greater extent. Then another factor is climatic condition and seasonal changes. As the climate changes or as the season changes, demand for the goods and services will also go on change. For example, during winter season, the demand for woolen suits will go on increase. During summer season, demand for cold drinks and ice creams may show an increasing trend. Similarly, during rainy season, demand for raincoat and umbrellas will go on increase. So, climate and seasonal changes can affect the level of demand to a greater extent. Then advertisements, another important factor. Today, demand is highly influencing because of advertisements. Therefore, big companies are spending a lot of money on advertisements to create large scale demand for their product. Similarly, advertisements can also capture a team of loyal customers. Consumers have to purchase a particular brand regularly. It means they can create a team of loyal customers. Advertisements can also shift the demand of the consumers from one brand to another particular brand. So, advertisements can influence and affect the level of demand of the consumers to a greater extent. Lastly, expectation. Expectation of future changes in price, fashion, quality of product can also influence the present level of demand. Consumers can expect all such future changes and it can change their present level of demand or current level of demand. So these are the different factors determining demand. With this, I am concluding. In our next session, let us start our discussion over the law of demand. Let us study the statement of the law. I will give you a demand schedule, individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. Let us draw a demand curve. Let us study the shape of the demand curve. We'll also analyze the causes for downward sloping demand curve. Let us study assumptions of the law and exceptions to the law. Let us study the law of demand in our next session. Thank you.